Hi, this is Leanne Lindsay, editor of Tinsel Tine, and here is my annual Oscars Roundup for 2023, better known as the 95th Academy Awards. So I always start with what I'm eating, and I call it my red carpet picnic. And typically, I have a whole spread for my red carpet picnic, enough food for a party, even when I'm just watching alone. But I'm definitely being forced to take my diabetes diagnosis more seriously, as I am having more and more digestive issues, unfortunately, especially when I have more than a glass of red wine or when I eat anything fried or super sugary. So Saturday night, I went out with a friend and I had two mixologist fancy cocktails, and then I had this fried French toast bites with caramel sauce. And then I tried to have like a really sensible dinner after that, to try to balance it out, but that didn't work. And my stomach was super upset on Sunday, so it was not ready for Oscar eating. So instead of the smorgasbord of Chinese food that I was planning to get, I just made my way over to Whole Foods and went to the cold bar and got these items and a little chicken soup. And instead of Prosecco, I had sparkling seltzer. And then to kind of settle my stomach, the probiotics of the kombucha, the carrot and the turmeric one is really good for that. So, yes, I did watch the red carpet and the Oscar ceremony by myself. Actually, I started this year at 3 p.m. on the E channel. They have the Oscars brunch that starts at 3 p.m., and it's like a pre show before the red carpet. So I was able to do that this year. I actually had offers from two of my friends that, said they would want to watch it with me. And then also the Philadelphia Film Society every year has an Oscar party, and you get to view the Oscars on, the big screen. And this was their 10th anniversary, and I got invited to that. But I really prefer watching it on my own. I do like to communicate with other people on social media and text while the proceedings are going on. But I just don't like to do a lot of talking during the red carpet or the Oscars ceremony. Um, I don't want to have to play host, but mainly I see all these movies during the year that are up for almost any nominations. Now, I often don't get a chance to see the shorts, but because I do, I kind of only want to watch the Oscars with another person who has seen at least 85 to 90% of the movies. Otherwise, they either get bored too quickly or they just don't have that same energy that I bring to it. Because even though it's not true, I feel like I've got skin in the game. So, late night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel hosted for the third time, and I think that was a good, safe choice. I kind of like the trio of hosts from last year. I mean, that was a kind of an interesting concept that they might could try again in the future, but I'm sure the Academy producers didn't want anything that put people in mind of last year's melee. Of course, that night was referred to here and there without using any names, but one of the things in the monologue was that Jimmy said is, if anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during this show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor and permitted to give a 19-minute speech. The crowd was they laughed, but it was a little awkward laughter. And then he followed by saying, if anything unpredictable or violent happens during the ceremony, just sit there and do what you did last year. Nothing. And then he added, maybe even give the assailant a hug. So that was kind of funny. I don't think we needed to talk too much about Will Smith. That's been done to death. I did like that he acknowledged the fact that Viola Davis for The Woman King and Danielle Detweiler for Till were, snubbed. And I like that he called out James Cameron and Tom Cruise for not attending the Oscars after they were the ones insistent that audience return to seeing movies in the theater. For those of us who love the red carpet part of the evening, we expect to see a trend pretty early on. But I have to say, no, not this year. I really didn't detect any trends. And also, oddly, there was nothing that I thought was like such a veritable bomb worthy of compiling a worst dress list this year. So I left that out. The big news was that this was the year without a red carpet. Well, people were on the red carpet, but it was a champagne colored carpet. And it's okay, I guess. I mean, as you can see here, it does look champagne colored, but it washes out Michelle Yeoh's dress. And then sometimes it just photographs as sort of an off gray. So I kind of feel like they're going to return to a actual red carpet next year, but it's always good to try and change things up. My favorites were the same as most people's favorites. Florence Pugh in this Valentino. I just love the black shorts under that strapless taffeta dress. It was really glam punk, especially with that Kiwi doll hairstyle that she was pulling off. I think the only thing that I would change is the necklace. I really don't think you need any kind of neckwear with this. If anything, then maybe like a black choker. Then of course Cara Delevingne. That is just, oh my God, that dress. I have never liked this actress slash model. I mean, I don't know why. It has nothing to do with her addiction. I didn't know anything about that until I was Googling to get a picture for the dress. But I don't know. There's something about her that turns me off. I know that's mean. Nevertheless, she took the red carpet by storm. She really looked ravishing in red. This was Elie Saab Couture, and it's just gorgeous. Again, doesn't need a necklace. You got that big bow, you have this gorgeous dress, you just wear earrings, and that's fine. All hail the queen. Angela Bassett in this royal purple Moschino gown was the absolute perfect choice. I love the organza fabric, all the twists and the ruching, the way the top portion stays in place. Yeah, she really looks so wonderful. And it would have been fabulous for her to win and give Marvel's Black Panther Wakanda Forever that kind of shine. But that's not to take anything away from Ruth Carter's second win for Best Costumes. And she also had a very moving acceptance speech. But it's just, if a supporting actress win for a superhero movie would have just been so gratifying. The trouble being, I was equally rooting for Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, she's been in the business forever, and she was having a ball this award season. She really was everywhere, everything, everywhere. And technically, her role in that movie was slightly more deserved of the recognition than maybe Angela Bassett's role in Black Panther. I know that's hard to say. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that being said, but I kind of think that's true. What I want to know is, did Halle Bailey's parents deliberately name her after Halle Berry? Because if so, they were smart, as she's already taking after her namesake, causing a stir on the red carpet. This live-action Little Mermaid star was looking absolutely adorable in Dolce & Gabbana, every bit a Disney princess and then some, giving enchantment. Janelle Monáe is always style personified. This woman is just a black Barbie come to life, and I don't mean that in any disrespectful way to her talents, creativity, and her all-around magic. Honestly, I don't remember this song. It's called Hold My Hand, which was nominated for Best Song from Top Gun Maverick. And I'm not sure I appreciated the stripped down rehearsal look of Gaga's performance. I know at first she said she was not going to perform and then she changed her mind. But one thing is in agreement is that she was in great voice. She has such a powerful voice. What an instrument. During this award season, I have utterly fallen in love with Austin Butler. He's just so charming and humble and talented and gorgeous. I know I'm obsessed with people's weight. I talk about it all the time. It's a terrible thing and I need to stop. But if he would gain just 10 to 15 pounds, then he would be absolutely perfect. I love the movie Elvis. It was number 6 on my top 10 list of movies for 2022. Go to the site for the whole for reviews of all top 10. And I feel like he worked his ass off in playing this role. I mean, he just had to learn and do so much. So I would have loved to have seen him take home the Oscar. But I also understand that the comeback story for Brendan Fraser was pretty strong as well. For Darren Aronofsky's The Whale, I didn't write a review for that movie, but I did see it, and I would say it's almost equally deserving. If you haven't seen RRR on Netflix, do yourself a favor and watch it. If seeing these dancers on at the Oscars didn't convince you, then maybe I can. It is an absolutely absorbing, crazy, joyful, stupid, wonderful movie, and I'm very happy that Natu Natu won for Best Song. All Quiet on the Western Front took Best International Feature, along with Best Original Score, Best Production Design, and Best Cinematography, all well deserved. I don't typically watch any war movies if I can help it. But I forced myself to watch this mainly because the original movie and the novel I've heard about my whole life, and I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. And I have, and it's a grueling ordeal. It's really hard to watch, and the ending doesn't make it any better. But of course, this is the point. It's a movie that doesn't glorify war, but speaks to its senselessness. And I have to admit, it's a cinematic masterpiece. Netflix spared no expense, and composer Volker Bertelmann's score is disturbing and powerful. While we're talking about sad things, John Travolta, I mean, wasn't a dry eye in the house when he's trying to introduce the memoriam part of the evening. You know, he's a man who's known much loss in his life, having survived losing his son and then his wife, and then more recently, 2 longtime close friends, Olivia Newton-John and Kirstie Alley. And yeah, that was really touching. And now for some foolishness. The camera kept panning to this woman in the audience with this cloud or this halo above her head. And I didn't know who she was. It turns out that her name is Thames. She's a 27-year-old singer-songwriter who wrote the Black Panther Wakanda Forever track, Lift Me Up, which was nominated for Best Song and sung by Rihanna. So that does make her somewhat fabulous, but not fabulous enough to block all these people behind her. It's just so, like, how do you not feel self-conscious about doing something like that? And you're just sitting up there like, all right, I don't care. I'm here. Anybody behind me is just behind me. I mean, and the designer, I'm thinking about the stylist. They didn't think about this. Why wasn't it designed so that it was like a hood where you're on the red carpet, it's up around your head, it's floating, it's doing all this stuff. And then when you come inside, you kind of take it down and you can pat it down like around your shoulders. It's just, I don't know. That was crazy. I don't think Nobel Peace Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai even knew what Jimmy Kimmel was talking about when he was referring to the Don't Worry Darling Spitgate at Cannes. But she certainly had the perfect comeback response. There's more to be said, but I'm going to wrap it up and get to the big winner of the night. 7 Oscar wins for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. A24 Studios, writer-directors, the Daniels, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. You know, there was some history-making wins, and it just makes me so happy. I really, really love this movie. It's deeply weird and deeply affecting and highly entertaining. I saw it last March of 2022, so it was like right after it premiered at South by Southwest. And I said, this is most likely going to be my favorite movie of the year, which I typically don't know until I've seen everything in late December. But I just kind of knew. But then I worried that it had so much momentum during the award season that I feared it might somehow work against it when it came time for Oscars. I'm glad it didn't. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I have two friends who just don't get it at all, and one that can't even finish watching it. And I kind of understand that, not to get too woo woo, but I do feel like it's a frequency thing. I also think it's sort of what you've been studying, maybe spiritually or asking about yourself, that makes you feel more clued into this film. It is culturally specific in some ways, but it's also, I think, just one of those movies that turns a mirror on yourself and humanity and makes you look at things in a way that you hadn't before. And I just love that about it. A couple months ago, I was invited to attend a virtual press conference for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And afterwards, they permit you to put it on your YouTube channel. So I did. So you can find that here. It's gotten a lot of good traffic since then. I wish it did me some good because I can't make any money off of YouTube because I don't have enough followers. But it's always nice to see the traffic. And I guess that's it. Thank you for listening, and until next time. But of course, during the whole year, I try to review as many things as I can on Tinsel and Tine and keep up on our series of 5 questions for indie filmmakers. Bye!